It's really my pleasure to introduce you to Tomas, Gregg, Brian Richwine, and James McGookey with their presentation, Poof, You Get Captions.
Thank you, Dan. I'm James McGookey, by the way, if you've never met me. I'm the manager of collaboration technologies and classroom and conferencing support. And today with me is Brian Richwine and Tomas Gregg of the ATAC. So we'd like to talk a little bit about captioning today. And, we decided, well, the best way to show our technologies is to show a video. So let's go ahead and show the video, Brian.
James, what's going on? I don't hear any audio.
Yeah, that's right. So I wanted to show what it's like if you were deaf or hard of hearing.
Yeah, but can anybody in the audience hear what's going on right now? No? No? See?
Well, yeah, but okay. So this is lecture capture. This is what we do, right? Area, volume, viscosity. I see all of the all the equations are up there. You can see what's happening. This is good enough, right?
But it seems like there's some kind of discussion. It almost looks like a debate. There's some concern on their faces. I'm really curious of what they're saying.
Well, okay, I'll let you in on a little secret. We set this up just to show what it is like to be deaf or hard of hearing. And we've addressed this by signing an agreement with Kaltura for their REACH program. And we want to show a little bit about how REACH works and what it does. So I'm going to turn it over to Brian, and he's going to talk about why you should caption your videos.
So hopefully that was an example that could emphasize to you the situation. Of course, at Indiana University, we want to provide effective communication. Captions is the way to provide effective communications and video for the deaf and the hard of hearing. It also supports a lot of other individuals that have other kinds of disabilities, like learning disabilities, attention deficit disorder, and things like that. There are other cases that we find that captions are actually pretty useful. Imagine your English as a second language audience, where maybe English is even your third or fourth language, and you're sitting in a very technical class. The instructor's using some terminology you're not familiar with, how easy it is to actually just see it right there on the screen. We are under various different state and federal regulations as well to provide effective communication to individuals with disabilities. When we know of the need to accommodate it, we definitely need to step up and do that. When we put captions in place, there are a lot of other benefits. One of them is it makes your media even more findable. A lot of search engines can mine the content of those captions and help expose those videos when certain search terms are used.
So Brian talked about why we would want to caption, but the real question is, how do we go about accessing this Kaltura REACH service here at IU? So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to kaltura.iu.edu, and from that page, there will be a link to access the Kaltura system. So once you log in with your username and passphrase, and you're in Kaltura, in the upper right, next to your name is a button that says Add New. This is where we're going to upload media into the system. Now, Kaltura accepts a lot of different media formats. We're just concerned with uploading a video today. So once you click on that, you'll get presented, you'll pick your video, upload it into Kaltura, give it a name, give it a description, maybe include some key tags so you can search for it in Kaltura. Then it gets uploaded, processed into the system, and then, poof, you get mechanical captions. So, what are mechanical captions? Well, mechanical captions are machine generated, so a person's not involved with this. And has anybody seen the stuff on YouTube? So automatic transcripts of captions there, or those wonderful voicemail responses we get in Outlook sometimes that are kind of gibberish? Yeah? Okay. So mechanical captions is similar to that. We've had varying results. I've heard from individuals where it's been really low, the 30 percentiles. We've seen accuracy up to 80% with the mechanical, and sometimes it depends on some people have accents, other times it is, the audio recording. If you have a really poor audio recording, it's going to cause issues in the system. But what's really cool about mechanical captions is every piece of content that you upload into the system gets this automatically, and it's free at IU, okay? The turnaround time on this is under a day. In most cases, you're seeing anywhere from several minutes to maybe a couple hours, and you will then have mechanical captions with your videos in Kaltura. And if you don't like the accuracy, you have the option to use the free web editor that we've got to edit those captions.
And so there's a built-in editor, as Thomas mentioned. You can imagine perhaps you've just recorded a lecture that you're going to post in your online course. Maybe it's 15 minutes long, something like that. You're going to get those mechanical captions back pretty quickly. You can then open that file up in the editor. You can see your video in the middle. You can work the controls with that, see the relevant caption. But you can also scroll through the captions along the left-hand side. You're probably pretty familiar with what you just talked about, so you'll recognize the errors that it made pretty quickly. Go through, make those changes, and save it. And voila, you've got captions that are suitable for someone with hearing impairment.
Well, maybe you're thinking to yourself, I don't have time to sit there and fix these mechanical captions myself. Maybe I want something a little bit more accurate. Maybe I'd like an actual human being actually touching and creating these files for me. Well, the second option you have is to order professional captions. It's a pay service. And how it works is we're already in Kaltura because we've got our video in there. We're going to navigate to where our video is. We're going to select that video. And when the page comes up, which has your video in it, below it there's an action button. And in that menu, there's an option to order captions. And when you choose that, the page updates to give us some settings here that we can pick. So like the accuracy level, the turnaround time, and some other things. And once we're happy with everything, we click the Order Captions button. And then depending on the turnaround time we've requested, poof, you get professional captions. So with the professional captions, we've got two types of turnaround time we can get. You can either request 48-hour or 7-day turnaround.
What's really important about the captioning services that we've got here is that we've achieved scale. So what we've done is we've consolidated captioning into this one Kaltura Reach service, and that gives us the ability to bring down the complete or the total cost of all of our captioning. So for instance, for a 48-hour turnaround on professional captioning, we've brought the cost down to $1.67 per minute. For the 7-day turnaround, we've brought that cost down to $1.42 a minute. Now, if you've ever gone out and had to pay for professional captioning at 98 or 99% accuracy, you'll understand, what kind of a deal this is. This is a really good price for human-level professional captioning.
So we have some resources out there that you can take advantage of once you're back on your jobs. There's the Kaltura service page. You can find that by going to kaltura.iu.edu. And not only can you log in through Kaltura through that, but there's information on resources for how to use Kaltura that you can find there. We've put articles in the knowledge base. Those are linked to from that service page, but you can also find them inside of the knowledge base simply by typing in Kaltura or by typing in captions, and those pages will come up. Not only will they talk to you about how to use Kaltura for captioning and uploading media, but they also talk to you a little bit about the difference between mechanical, professional captions and what all that means. There's also a recorded IT training seminar on using Kaltura to actually edit your own mechanical captions. That was put together by Thomas and Peter in IT training. So you can find that there if you want to see an example of the whole process.
So now that we've talked about Kaltura Reach, we've talked about why you should caption, how you can caption, let's go back to our video example and let's show a video that we've captioned.
Sure.
Thomas, I think we grabbed the wrong video for this presentation.
Ooh. But it was a very productive meeting. I mean,
yeah, this was that meeting last week that Brian called and didn't show up to. So Brian and I moved on to more pressing matters.
This is very enlightening.
Very fulfilling.
It looked like a very fulfilling meeting. So obviously there's a lot you can miss if you don't get access to the content. Captions are very important. And, IU has, as part of its mission, the desire to provide a very inclusive environment. That includes through the use of technology. We want to make sure everybody has equal access and opportunity to all the great services that Indiana University offers. And of course, UITS takes that role seriously to assist with that. And so as part, that's why we've put services together to try to make that as easy as possible. So this really is about the easiest way that you could caption media. Please use it as much as you can and edit those captions so that they're of the suitable quality.
So, we've had a little bit of fun here today with our presentation, but, like Brian said and Thomas as well, we take this very seriously, and this is very important to us. So we'll make a promise to you that we will provide services and tools to make accessibility easier, but we need your help. So please edit your captions. Thank you.
Thank you.